Well, it all worked out in the end. Hooray.
You got more biscuits.
I got biscuits. I was so excited. I thank you again for the biscuits. I did not... Oh, Wyatt? I was like, I went to episode 30 and the title, I was like, that's not this. And I realized I was in the 2003 version. Aren't I silly? Aren't I just a silly goose?
Speaking of silly.
Yeah. You know what's silly? The Ishvalan War of Extermination.
I feel like if you call it that, that's not a war. That is a final solution.
That is a fantastic observation, Dara. Anyway, are you ready for this episode? Because I'm not.
Okay.
Yay! Let's go.
I still don't think I like the theme song that much.
Yeah. It's not my favorite.
No.
I mean, I appreciate it for what it is.
How many more theme songs do we get?
One more after this.
Okay. Is that one better, or is that...
I literally do not remember.
That's
the
fair.
second half of the series is, like, not as strong on my memory, because I think I only watched it, like, one time. Or twice, I think.
That means it's not as good? I mean, I'm having a good time so far.
Well, it's because I read the manga, and I think, like, the manga's memory is very prominent in my head, so, like, I feel like I didn't need to, like, watch this as much. But it's still good.
Yeah.
Can't wait till we get to those guys.
Get into position.
Assume the position. All right, welcome back to another episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. I am your host, King Clother. With me is my co-host,
Dara Whitman.
How's it going, Dara?
You come in my house.
Yes.
The day of my daughter's wedding.
Yes.
I give you food. I give you wine. I give you a tripod.
Yeah, you did. It's a very nice tripod.
And you repay me.
Yeah.
With war crimes.
Yes, I did. Happy Halloween. Yes. So if you haven't figured it out
It's
yet,
not Halloween anymore.
Geez.
It's election season.
Oh God, which is a war crime in and of itself. Anyway, we are still watching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and today we will be talking about episode 30, the Ishvalan War of Extermination, and episode 31, the 520 Cents Promise. Dara, how you holding up?
I'm not.
That's the accurate response. Yes.
I'm laughing, but I am in pain.
Yeah, I just want to preface this for everyone. We are uncomfortable laughers. So, like, we are not laughing at the war crimes. We are just like, oh, this is terrible. This is awful. Everything is awful.
I will say, though, it was kind of, this is going to sound weird. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't as, like, gory or graphic as I thought it was going to be. Because, like, there was some bad. Yeah. But I was thinking, like, some more gore, and then, like, there was really only, like, one part with, like, because, like, my thing also, like, with graphic is, like, if you just, like, hear all the war crimes, that's traumatic. There wasn't a ton of that. There was a little bit, but, like, it wasn't, so, like.
Yeah, I think it gave us enough to, like, understand what was going on and to feel the gravity of it.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Let's go ahead and launch into a synopsis of episode 30, the Ishvalan War of Extermination. Spoiler, there is an extermination.
Also, if you call it extermination, that's not a war. A war is like fighting between like two different armies of people. Is usually not really like legit. Well, what is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. This.
Or trying to think, is there a war where it's like kind of like okay, like both sides screwed up?
I would say, yeah, plenty of those. There's plenty of those in existence. Plenty of where both sides kind of suck. Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean, usually it's kind of just like two countries that like are trying to do something, and then other bigger countries are like, "Hey, we're gonna help you," but then the other countries are like, "Well, no, I mean, like we'll figure it out. It's just like a small thing. It's not the big deal." It's like, no, we gotta come in here because, like, you know, like nationalism and imperialism.
Because, well, we're looking at that. I mean, that's like kind of a mix of like World War II and also the post-war like proxy wars in the Cold War.
Oh my God, what
era.
were the other isms for World War I? That's what I was thinking.
The other isms?
Remember, like, you learn the isms in history. So, like, it was like why World War I was a thing, like nationalism, like imperialism. I was gonna say capitalism, but I don't think that was one of the isms.
No. That's terrible. We have failed history class. Anyway, so fictional history. Yeah, so we are talking about war today. It's going to get rough, and I'm very curious about where we're going to go with this discussion. But let's go ahead and get started with a synopsis. The year is 1905. So says the wiki. Thank you, wiki writers.
Flashback?
We are starting at a flashback. A lamp.
So you've decided to become a soldier after all?
Oh, flashback.
That's all the proof I need. You're not ready to learn flame alchemy. Of course you have. And I regret even teaching you that much, now that I know who you plan on using it for.
You got kind of a point, though.
Alchemy should be used for the people, shouldn't it?
Specifically to kill the people.
Listen here, kid. There's gonna
The country
be...
is constantly under threat from all sides.
You're kinda gonna be a
Needs
weapon.
alchemists. It's a matter of defending our homes.
Oh.
We don't help
I'm
them.
tired of hearing that vile rhetoric.
He's so innocent.
But if you actively kill people in self-defense, it's fine.
I can't stand to see you like this.
And take a long drink
There's
of my
no
water.
reason for
I mean,
a
if you
man
do,
of your stature
I
to
think it
suffer
is fine,
this
but I
kind
don't
of
think there's gonna be
squalor.
self-defense.
If you would simply join the
That's
military,
what
you
I
could
mean
get
there.
grants
That's
for
what
your
I mean.
research. Finished your research?
I've created the most powerful alchemy. It would only cause tragedy if I placed it in the wrong hands. I've allowed myself to grow complacent.
I'm gonna die now.
And I'm out.
We must continue the hunt for knowledge as long as we live.
It's true.
If we forgo pursuing the truth, then we allow ourselves to die. Trust me, I've been dead for a long time.
Oh,
Master!
oh, is he done now? Oh, that was so
Are you
dramatic.
all right? Master Hawkeye!
Look after
Master Hawkeye?
my daughter. She's in possession of my research. Look after her.
Backstory.
I'll take care of her.
Stop. We're not doing that here today. We are following a young Roy Mustang who is really I
He's
think, a
so
kid at this point.
innocent.
He is. This is before anything. So at this point in time, Roy Mustang has just signed up for the military, and he is actually having a conversation with his alchemy mentor. We actually have not really known up to this point how Roy Mustang learned alchemy. We can assume he probably had a teacher, as many of the very skilled alchemists do, but we don't really know what his deal is. So there is a person who looks like he's not doing so hot. He's like in a bed, looks kind of sickly.
No, he's like, wow, how old was he? Like,
He was 46 apparently. I was like, oh my god, that's
Listen,
gonna. I'm probably gonna look like that at
I mean,
46.
like, I feel like alchemy and like war and drama might do that to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, but well, we don't know if this alchemist has been a part of the military because he seems pretty against the military. You know, he looks at Roy. He's like, if this is what you were doing, I would not have taken you as a student, pretty much. And he explains that he has not perfected this method of alchemy, but he has a method of alchemy that he does not want to teach Roy anymore, which is flame alchemy. So, of course, as we know, Roy is the flame alchemist. So we're getting at this point, and eventually we'll get here. We don't know how that happens, and it's really actually not outwardly stated yet. We will get there. Maybe we can kind of draw some assumptions today. But anyway, so the flame alchemist is like, not the flame alchemist, but the guy who knows flame alchemy and is kind of master of it. He does not like the dogs of the military, is not pro going for the military. He is a scientist, and he has like this very interesting talk about kind of the life of alchemist kind of ends when the research has ended. So being an alchemist is all about the kind of the thirst for knowledge, kind of the quest for knowledge, and when that's over, you're over pretty much. But it is kind of a lifelong quest, for better or for worse. But Roy Mustang is more, he thinks, no, I'm in the military so I can help people. Aren't we supposed to be doing alchemy for, like, to further humanity, to kind of like this idea of like, what are we doing alchemy for? Is it science for science sake? Is it science to help people? What does it all mean? But before we can really figure out what it all means, this guy just dies.
He just goes like, ah!
He's like, well, you know this, and then just like dies. As they were like, all right, thanks for anything. But as he's kind of going down, Roy kind of like speaks out and calls him Master Hawkeye, which is interesting because that's the last name that is shared by another character. I wonder if it's a coincidence. It is not.
I guess I didn't really realize that was her last name. I thought that was her nickname.
Oh, well, it's really funny. So it kind of gets a little weird because I've talked about this before about how kind of the translation works because Fullmetal Alchemist takes a lot of Western influences and will use like English words kind of in place. Like Hawkeye's name is Hawkeye, but they also call her the Hawk's Eye. So they have to like in Japanese, it's like, oh, Hawkeye. Like they're telling us that Hawkeye means Hawkeye, but like for us, it's the same thing. So we're like, yeah, so yes, Hawkeye, that's her Riza Hawkeye is her first and last name.
Okay.
And she is in fact Master Hawkeye's daughter. Oh my god, what a coincidence.
It's funny that she doesn't know any alchemy.
It's just not her thing, I guess.
That's fine.
I
mean, it's nice of her father to not push it on her.
Yeah.
Well, almost not push it on her.
Well. Anyway, so Hawkeye explains, Mr. Hawkeye, Master Hawkeye explains that, or asks Roy to look after his daughter, and explains that she alone holds the record of his finished work. I wonder what that means. I hope it's not anything weird or bad.
Well, are we going to find out like 2 seconds later?
It goes deeper, my friend. We just gotta watch and learn.
Oh.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna find out 2 seconds later when we see a shot of present day Riza in the shower, and we see her nude back, which has a giant ass tattoo of flame alchemy. Interesting.
I hope she consented to that.
Yeah. That's actually a really good question. I actually don't know to what degree she did. I mean, I don't think it was 100% non-consensual.
It sounds like that. Like she loved her father.
She definitely
and
loved
probably
her
like
father.
respected him.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I'm going to assume maybe like a little bit of pressure, but I'm gonna say like for the most part it was like I'll do this for you, father. Like maybe like a dying wish of like daughter, before I go, can we get this tattooed on your back, please and thank you.
We're going to the tattoo parlor. And then we have to kill the guy after because no one can know about this. That's true. How did that?
I feel like he probably
Who was holding the tattoo gun?
I feel like he probably did it himself.
Probably. He's a
like,
scientist.
it's his
he probably
thing.
figured it out. Yeah.
So like
it is his research. He's got to be the one to do it. So yeah. Interesting. So we do see like in that shot of present day Riza when it's scarred, like it's scarred, like so part of it is now removed. So eventually at one point she had all of it, now she doesn't. All of it.
That's not a good thing?
It's I mean, depends.
Also, we should probably like figure out like who knows about this scar tattoo thing.
Yeah.
Because like we don't know if Mustang knows about this.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but like,
you know
that's true. But we do not in this episode draw the exact line about kind of the story about like what the deal with this tattoo thing is.
Like we figure out like Mustang and Hawkeye have known each other like longer than I thought that they did.
Yes, so they didn't meet in the military. They actually met before. So they met kind of or were familiar with each other, right? Probably in this time around where Mustang was a student of the alchemist Hawkeye, and Hawkeye she's pretty young, so she was just a girl at that. Not like a girl, but like she was a young woman.
Girl.
No doubt about it.
But then my other concern is that does Wrath know about the tattoo? I feel like if he did, that would be concerning.
I don't think we have to put a ton of anxiety into it.
Okay.
I would.
Here's the thing about this show, and I think you've realized this is when I just have anxiety.
Yeah. About
stuff that like happens that seems like a bit out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Or like if somebody like has like a secret, I'm just like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because knowledge is power, and I mean that's really the crux of Fullmetal Alchemist, isn't it? Knowledge is power, and so knowledge is quite literally power in the way that alchemy works, but knowledge is also power in the way that characters are very intelligent and they're way of making connections and learning info about other things is what kind of drives the plot forward. So, yeah, word. Anyway,
I wish we had knowledge is power in America.
Knowledge is power. It's not. Ignorance is bliss in America, and
more like capital money.
I want to go to sleep.
Money is power.
Money is power.
Oh my god, I had like a weird like anxiety dream about the election.
Oh my god, really?
We're not okay. Like,
guys, we are filming this 2 days before the 2024 U.S. presidential
election.
Official
day, like last day of voting before, and then we're not even gonna find out that day anyway.
Yeah, so this might come out on the day that we find out about that. I don't know. We'll see.
I need to like believe this. Like for now, like we'll be okay.
We'll be fine. Yeah, we'll mostly be all right. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. We got worse things to talk about right now. We got war crimes to talk about. Is it?
I mean, I know it's like inspired by real stuff, but like
these are the questions. I'm gonna be drawing some very clear and obvious pictures today, and we're gonna see what happens.
It's the least I could do after everything he's taught me. You should take this. You can call me in the military if you need
Here's my number. At your father's funeral.
Your father told me soldiers are
Jesus
left
Christ,
to
is
die
he only
like trash
45?
on the side of the road. That may
He looks
be,
so much older than
but
that.
that's the only way
that's
to
what
make a
death
difference.
does.
And I know I'll never be happy if I don't try to make this country a better place.
Are you? Is that what you're doing?
That must have sounded pretty childish, huh?
Serious about this. But you really do care.
I mean, the fact that it turns out they've known each other for a while
Yeah, they have.
Roy.
doesn't help.
It goes deeper, my friend. Yes, then we get a scene at the funeral, which we figure out that Master Hawkeye was 46, even though he looked so old. I'm like, oh my god.
Was it a funeral or just like after funeral?
It was like right after the funeral. They're like at the grave.
Yeah, because I'm like, there wasn't that many people there, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I wonder if and like it didn't look like there wasn't even like a priest or anything. So I'm kind of thinking like maybe like everybody left at this point except for
Yeah. Like, Riza thanks him because Roy helped out the funeral. We appreciate that for him because Roy Mustang is a good guy. Like, we can talk about his character kind of after the fact, after all the stuff that we learned. But, like, I think at his heart, especially at this point in his life, he wants to do good, and we can see that kind of in his actions.
He wants to do good. And I think, like, with stuff that we learn later on in this episode,
Yes.
it kind of does show that, like, he understands the consequences of his actions.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, and then Roy kind of gives Riza his contact information and says, like, let me know if you need anything. And
he didn't go that feral. Good job.
I didn't go that feral. No, I mean, I think it's like for me, like, besides the fact that I'm like a dirty, rotten shipper, like, no, it's important, I think, for us to remove that from, like, watching this, because I think it's important to understand the relationship, not, like, in, like, the
I kind of get, like,
but, like, to really, like, understand kind of the connections that these people have. So I'm trying to remove that from here, especially when we're talking about
I
it.
am getting, like, I mean, I know we don't fully know where the relationship is going, but I kind of do get, like, an Ed Winry, like, vibe.
Yeah. As, like, people who've known each other for a very long time and, like,
And not even, and I know, like, Ed and Winry have, like, in lifetime, I've known each, like, maybe a bit longer, but, like, I kind of get the vibe of just, like, somebody you care about, like, you've known for a good amount of your life and you care about them.
Yeah. Don't look at me. Anyway, so we're gonna go back to the present day for a little bit to kind of give us our a better framing for this episode. Black Hayate.
Yay!
No, Hayate. Bad dog.
Heard you're working for the Fuhrer.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Does the Fuhrer know?
Looks
Probably
like
not.
things
Matter
got
of fact-
pretty serious.
Does Mustang?
Yeah, but I didn't use it.
We'll find out.
I didn't have to.
Okay.
I couldn't pull the trigger.
Hmm.
You know, Scar, I found out he murdered Winry's parents. She
Small
could have
world.
shot him. But deep down, I knew that would be wrong. And it's my fault. I've got no resolve.
So dramatic.
I managed
He's
to
very
make things
dramatic.
worse.
He's a teenage boy.
You're just dwelling on this stuff because you
But he
need
has
it
been
back
through it.
alive. You need to stay focused on living. That's how you'll help Winry. How
She's
else
right.
can you protect her? I mean, after all, you love her, don't you?
No, it's not like that. We've just been friends since we were little kids. She's like family to me. I mean, of course,
Yeah,
I
and
need
you
to
love that.
protect her,
Duh.
you know?
What happened with Scar? I'm not proud of it. But I've killed too many to feel sorry for myself.
Yeah.
Besides, I can't deny that I'm the one who chose this path.
You mean Ishval? Can I ask you about that? Would it be all right?
Aw. So Ed comes back to Hawkeye's apartment because he wants to return the gun that she lent him, and they kind of get to talking as Hawkeye is kind of cleaning the gun because there's blood all over it, and we actually don't get a line. I think this is in the manga, but not here. But she's like, "Why the hell is this covered in blood?" It's because it was in the belly of Gluttony, where there's like rivers of blood. Like, while they're doing that, they get to talking. So Ed kind of explains that, you know, he was not able to actually use the gun. He couldn't pull the trigger. Talks a little bit more about the Scar and Winry incident. And Ed kind of feels really bad that he's really not able to kind of you know, he can't use a gun. He's can't really take up arms, and he, you know, just the way that his actions, it feels like to him, is just perpetuating other people's pain.
Right.
And Riza's like, it's all good, man. She's literally just like, bruh, it's fine. You do what you gotta do. And, you know, because Riza's in a very different situation, because Riza is very good at guns, and Riza has killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and this kind of segues into
And definitely all of them were military people who were fighting and were trying to kill her as well, correct? We didn't like...
So this is a really good question. So this kind of segues into talking about Ishval. So Ed is like,
Remember
you're talking about like the things that she's referring to. He's like, oh, Ishval, the war. He's like, can you tell me about that? And she's going to go ahead and tell him. She's not going to pull her punches, and she's going to tell him exactly what happened. Because even though Ed, in a way, is still a child, like, he does have to understand this because of kind of the role I think he's playing.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Edward Elric.
Yes.
He is a child.
Yes.
But also,
yeah,
he's seen some shit.
he has seen some shit.
So,
So let's just add more.
I'm saying, like, I think he can more, like, handle, like, there's, like, a thing of just, like, oh, your kids are too immature to learn stuff. But, like, if you've, like, been through a lot of trauma in your life, you can probably handle some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, trauma kind of, unfortunately, makes you grow up a little bit.
I think it also lends you perspective to be able to understand things on a deeper level. Unfortunately, some of us have to go through really terrible things to be able to, like, better understand what other people go through, which is, I think, a fatal flaw of humanity, that, like, sometimes you have to experience things to be able to better understand other things. But, like, what are we doing? We're going to be here doing our own thing anyway.
Or we could just be kind to one another.
We could just not be jerks to each other.
And, like,
that would be great.
And, like, care about other people no matter what our differences are. Because, like,
true.
I mean, like, we're different. I still care about you. It doesn't matter, right?
Thank you. And I care about you too, I guess. Whatever. Anyway.
Okay, you come to my house. I gave you food.
Yeah.
I didn't give you wine.
No. But you did give me food, though. Thank you for the food. You did give me this water. I'm really excited.
I gave you a tripod.
You gave me a tripod. I'm really, thank you. I do.
I didn't buy you a tripod.
No. It was, you had it, but I needed it. So you gave something to me in need. And I think that's what we should all be doing for each other.
To each other tripods.
Giving each other tripods in life. Something, we should all be helping each other stand.
Tripods and biscuit Sammies.
Yeah,
they
honestly.
Call them, is Sammy's a Philly thing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's just like a cutesy way of saying it. Anyway, so...
Don't be so cutesy, but it was delicious.
It was very good. It was... Anyway, Fullmetal Alchemist. Kid, let me tell you about my war crimes.
Confess. Tell me your sins. What did you do to my people?
So much.
It's awful. Last time that we were in the underground, Scar was bebopping around, and he discovered Tim Marco, who's being held captive. And he was like, oh my god, Marco, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh my god, you! Please kill me, so I don't have to do whatever these guys are doing. Also, I deserve to die because I'm partially responsible for the extermination of your people. So
so basically a bunch of flashbacks about the war.
Yeah, so I mean, Scar is like, okay, well, tell me what happened.
Oh, well.
So we're gonna go back to the year of 1901, kind of the start of the conflict. So
I guess Mustang, like, them gang didn't join until
the conflict is going on for years before we get to that Order 3066, which we'll get to.
Right, but when did the war? Because the war started when the girl got accidentally, definitely murdered.
Yeah. So I don't think they give an exact year for that.
Because it's like there's conflict, but then I think Hawkeye says the war lasts for 7 years.
Okay, so
I think
well, that makes sense because that's year. Because 1901, if it starts, and then 1908 is when the order comes, the extermination order comes.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Hawkeye, and then Mustang joined in 1905. So it was a few years into the war, and he's like, I'm gonna help people. And that's probably why the Hawkeye Senior was like, okay.
I think the thing is, like, I want to help people, but also I want power.
Yeah, well, who, Mustang?
Yeah.
No, I think he genuinely wants to. I think he's a very ambitious person. I don't think at this point if he knows that he necessarily wants power. I think he's growing to understand that to make change you need power.
Yeah.
I think he's very naive at the start of his journey. And I think kind of towards the end of the war, he's like, oh, if we're going to make a change, I got to be at the top. And I think that's what kind of fuels.
It is kind of fascinating how we handle trauma because, like, I do kind of find it interesting. It's like it's not all from the Ishvalan side, because that's honestly I kind of assumed that.
Okay.
It was gonna be just like all like focusing on like these Ishvalan people, like the other thing. We do actually focus a lot on the military and like the stuff they go through, and like I'm gonna admire some animation here real quick.
Yeah.
Because I don't do that much, but like I kind of like how like when this might be a bit like it's a bit further ahead, but like when people are like talking and like you can just like see their eyes shaking.
Yes. Yeah, and we'll kind of get to that, talk about that more in detail. But this idea of like eyes of a killer, or like the physical changes that are really better illustrated kind of in this format to understand like the hollowness or the harrowing kind of experience of what it means to take a life. Anyway, I'm trying to talk about war crimes.
It's a harsh and barren country, filled with rocks and sand. Considering the terrain, it's not surprising that it would give birth to such a stringent religion. Or that its people would be so earnest and resolute.
Rude?
Their mistrust was soon justified.
Oh, that's...
That one bullet changed everything. Their mistrust turned to outrage, and dissidence spread like a contagion.
They're not really in the country of mistrust. I think
they're in a place
where
like it'd be nice if like we just left them alone.
Yes.
Or even like if you like want to come to visit and learn about this.
Yes.
That's fine, but like I feel like, I mean, like, unlike America.
Yeah.
Where like we're like, oh, land, why don't we just like take it?
Manifest destiny, baby. I mean, this is kind of in part of, there's a very clear and obvious plan by the leadership of the country, or the people who are working under the country, to have a very specific, make a giant transmutation circle.
Yeah.
Maybe. And so obviously in order to get what you need for the transmutation circle, there's things that have to be done. One of them is expansion. And so there is this group of people living in kind of the desert, and they're the people of Ishval.
And like not doing anything. Like, I mean, the super religious stuff I don't love, but that's just my thoughts on like super religion in general. Yeah. But like it doesn't seem like they're hurting any, like we don't know, I don't really know enough about this religion to like say that like they're hurting people. Yeah. So
I'm sure it is. I mean, in the way
and I feel like what the priest does later, kind of makes me think that they're like one of those like religions. Like if you want to join, it's cool, and if you don't, cool. Yeah. But I don't know. Like it could be bad because I have thoughts on super religion. But besides that,
okay. So there's there's a group of religious folks living in the desert, and don't think too hard into it. So but
what is that? Is that a parallel to something?
I think there's a lot.
I can name some cults here, but
no, it's not. I'm not talking about cults. Okay. No, but I think there's a lot of really interesting parallels that we can draw to a myriad of real conflicts, both past and present. And so anyway, there is a group of people, and eventually they are annexed into the larger country of Amestris. So that's how we know them today. So like before, they weren't really kind of part of Amestris. Now they are. And of course, obviously there's tension when like you absorb another thing and you're like, you're ours now, because that usually doesn't go well.
And it kind of doesn't sound like a thing of like we're both parties, we're like, let's make an agreement. It was more just like
we are bigger and have more power, you're ours now.
So I say like white looking people because like it just to explain it better.
Yes.
They were just like, hey, let's just like, we're just going to have this now.
Mm. Actually, this is ours and we want it. Thanks.
Is that how it works? Finders keepers?
That's a great question, Dara. It shouldn't be, but that's often how it does. And anyway, and so.
Hi, I'm Christopher Columbus. I'm going to take this place now.
Oh my God. I just discovered it. It's like, we've been here. It's like, I discovered it. It's mine now. There you go. Here we go.
Well, we're gonna fight you.
And so obviously there were some cultural differences. I mean, they talk kind of about more about the religion and everything like that. But there are tensions, and eventually, kind of these tensions lead to a point. They bring in the military.
I wonder if we can trigger that tension somehow.
What would happen if, say, somebody just like shot a child point blank?
Definitely on accident. It
was definitely an accident. Somebody accidentally shot a child.
It wasn't like somebody trying to trigger everybody, because technically there's somebody above all of us, which is what we should be worried about, you peasants.
Wasn't premeditated in the slightest. Anyway, so...
And we actually see that, like, shot and, like, the child.
We actually see the child. I mean, we get to look into the eyes of a child. Like, we are not pulling punches here. Like, we are showing, like, what this means. Like, what the cruelty of war is. What it means to, like, kill children. It's not great. And then, of course, that nobody likes when you kill children. Nobody likes that. And, of course, then the tension becomes...
Unless the children did something bad. Which...
We still shouldn't kill the child. We still probably shouldn't kill children.
That's why children aren't allowed. That's why, like, if you do a crime as a juvenile crime, you don't get the death penalty ever.
Yeah. Anyway, so like kind of the tension kind of comes, and before we know it, it's a
war.
It's like a war. It's like a war, even though one side is like really has an actual organized military and are heavily armed, and the other side doesn't.
See, I was thinking in the beginning it actually was a war because, like, both sides were fighting each other, which, like, to me is, like, the basic definition of a war.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, technically,
yeah,
in the beginning, it was, like, maybe... Well, I guess it more kind of sounds like this side saying, like, hey, we're upset about this horrible thing that you did, and then, like, rioting, and then... I'm gonna shut up now?
Just go, keep going.
Okay, so then, like, and then, like, you'd be like, the police force is kind of just, like... And they may even be peaceful, and then they just go like, Bridging.
Yeah, and then of course, and then obviously, violence begets violence, etc., etc., etc. So like, where there's fighting, there will be more fighting, and that's becomes a war. Even though I would say there is like maybe it's not the war in the sense where it's like two fully established nations with organized military. It's a big country with many military, and one that probably has a degree. I'm assuming has a degree of organization, but not to that degree,
and like actually like organizing like people who can use like a magical science kind of thing, which can devastate people, and also doing more stuff. And
so
can the apocalypse just come already?
What?
Can the apocalypse just...
I actually, what if I'm ready to
like, I'll accept it.
I'm ready for the rapture. Please get me out of here.
I don't know. Are we gonna be raptured?
Probably not.
I mean,
depends who they're coming back for. I'm probably not. Anyway,
I mean, I just want an apocalypse where we still have Wi-Fi and indoor plumbing.
Yeah. I mean, that's ambitious, probably.
Listen, I'm fine if I just like find a log cabin, curl up in there, have my laptop and my phone and like other tech.
Yeah.
I'll be happy. I won't bother anybody. I promise.
Yeah, I'm just...
Somebody bring me food, I'll be fine.
If you're gonna take me out quickly. That's how I look at it. just take me out. Just get me out of here. I'm done.
It soon escalated into a civil war, and the fighting lasted 7 long years.
Oh, man.
Executive Order 3066. The official order to initiate the Ishvalan War of Extermination.
I don't think that's how war should be.
You're right. I guess that guy. Oh my god, those guys. Oh my god, that guy. Oh my god, they're here to do the opposite of save the day.
The air was tainted with the smell of human decay, and the desert sand soaked up the blood like a sponge.
Oh, this is so hard to watch. The fighting is unending, and
we don't want to make a peace treaty or anything.
No, why would we do that?
To stop the innocent people dying.
Oh, honey, that doesn't matter.
It is kind of interesting of just like in parallel because like they're not doing that because like they have a reason why they want all the people dead, and they I guess don't want, and it's like fine if you kill minorities.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. We do not condone.
We do not condone any of the actions here taken by anybody.
I'm saying that like the people in this show, are like it's fine if you kill people who don't look like you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to two things. Most of it boils down to the complete dehumanization of the other. If you just look at the other side as in they're not actual people, like we're real people and we are full-fledged beings, and these people are just like not,
then
they're fine. fine.
Yeah, like
that's
you
fine.
can kill people who are different than you.
You can
right?
kill people who are different than you, or just by existing as a member of the other group, you are inherently a soldier in your own right. And that's how you justify killing innocent people.
This does kind of feel like if America didn't win any of the wars.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I'm not counting Vietnam because, like, let's be honest, that was.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about Vietnam.
I mean, like,
no, we can't talk about it, but yeah.
I mainly think of like the world wars. Like,
yeah,
this kind of feels like if like America and like that team like didn't win, and then like kind of like how like that military thing took over.
Yeah. I guess probably. I'd have to think about that for longer before I have something.
I don't know much about like war stuff to actually have good parallels.
That's fair. That's
and
fair.
Granted, with like the way that America won versus Germany wasn't that bad, but like with the way we won with Japan was definitely bad.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think this is we're having this conversation is very.
This is gonna be so long.
No. It is, and I think it should be because I think there's a lot to talk about here, and I don't think disclaimer, we're here to have a good time. And so getting into this, I think this deep kind of philosophical discussion about like discussing what it means, like war, crime, war criminals, like what it means to be a war and what it means to do all this kind of stuff is outside of our is way out of our depth. Like it is very important here. Like we are talking about this as like laymen. So I really want to like tell people here, it's like we are just like a couple of schmucks off the street. Like we,
because like if we think about it, like in our lifetime, there has been wars in our lifetime, but we have been far enough away from it that like it doesn't really affect us.
That is it, and that is very important to understand.
Even when there's like protests, like like a lot of times like they're I mean sometimes some of them have been close to the city. Yeah, but they've been like far enough away that like it doesn't fully affect our lives, which is like sometimes unfortunate because then you don't learn anything. But...
Exactly. That's such a good point to know, and I think especially in if you're coming from like a Western country who's not like in a war right now, so like especially for I know us, a lot of viewers are coming from like the United States, coming from the UK and like very other similar countries who like have not had this level of like conflict
in their lifetime, because like technically like England
in their lifetime,
England did suffer a little bit of World War II. Let's be honest,
but like the United States really like besides like a couple like obviously major attacks from foreign powers over the past like 100 years, it really hasn't been much. Most people do not understand what it means to live in that state. Yeah. We just get to talk about other people and we get to make decisions about them. And we get to decide who's human and who's not.
That doesn't seem healthy.
No. That's why I live every day in a state of anxiety. So
we really need a unification day from Phil the Future.
Oh, uni day.
That seems like such a nice future.
Yeah, I want world unification. But yeah, it's very rough. So I did want to like make a statement here that we're going to talk about some stuff. If you're like, why did you talk about this, that, or the other thing? It's because we are not academics in this way. We are not well studied on this. And I also think it's important to understand. I think because the way you're talking about it, I'm not trying to like speak for you or anything, but I think your perspectives are very often you're talking about from like our understandings from an American education perspective.
You're 100% correct, yes.
Yeah, I think your perspective are like, this is what I learned in school, and I'm going to say that's flawed, and not you're saying, but like, because you also like listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff that talk about history.
I do know that the American education system is very flawed.
It is very flawed. It's very flawed. There's a lot of propaganda. I'm saying it. There's propaganda. You are not immune to propaganda. No, it's very flawed. There's a lot of propaganda. And like there's certain perspectives that you don't learn, and things are structured in a way where you're supposed to feel better about yourself after. So, talking about it from there and having its limited perspective. I'm someone who watches the news, unfortunately. Not just watches the news, but I think like tries to keep up with a lot of stuff. So I think we have some different perspectives on there. But nothing that we have is going to vastly kind of cover a lot of stuff to the degree of the kind of the philosophical nature of this episode. We're just here to talk about dumb shows and have a good time. So that's a really long disclaimer to like, we're going to have this discussion, but we're talking about it in the way that you're like having a beer with some of your buddies who like don't know shit.
I will also say, like, if you do know shit, like, leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of grew disenchanted with the news because I kind of just felt like they're trying to scare you, especially during like COVID.
No.
Like, it felt like literally like I thought that like if I got COVID, I was gonna die.
I mean, to be fair, I know people who got COVID and died.
Yeah.
I know personally people
I think
who
I
died.
felt like me personally, like I felt like, and like a lot of, and like, especially if we're going to be honest, at that time, for both of us, not a great time in general.
Yeah, true. There was, so a lot
like,
of other stuff going on.
And like a lot of times, like when you like have like anxiety, you kind of, it makes you think of like how it affects you.
Yeah.
Because that's all you can, like, that's all your brain can process. Yeah. So, like, my thinking is, like, and the news is freaking out saying I'm going to die to them. And then, like, I have people saying to me, like, you're a healthy individual. So, like, you're probably going to be fine.
Right.
So, like, that's why I don't want to do this. Because then I get anxiety about myself. And then that's all my brain can process. And then I curl up in a ball and cry.
Yeah. We all be feeling like that. But, yeah. So, I mean, we got to do what works. But no. I think that's a very valid kind of thought to have. But it's... the world is vast. We were not meant to be this connected to the rest of the world, and now that we are, it gives us a level of existential horror.
Every time I just go on like Facebook now, I just look at the random like those like dumb Reddit videos.
Yeah,
because they're like stupid.
They're better. It's better and fun. I will say like I look at it I like see that like the compare to like an American thing. I don't actually think that's what the people who created the show were thinking, because obviously they're Japanese, so it's like they have more perspective. But like obviously, unfortunately, and I'm like trying to work on this. I don't know much about like Japanese culture. Yeah, I'm trying to work on that. Yeah, I think as far as I understand, might be in the trivia or the story notes here on the wiki. But Hiroma Arakawa interviewed a lot of war veterans for this, obviously Japanese war veterans. World War II and kind of similar conflicts. But I think part of her inspiration for this, for the Ishvalan specifically, comes from the how the Japanese government treated the Ainu, which was a indigenous population to the northern part of Japan, I believe in the Hokkaido region. And spoiler alert, it wasn't that great. Remember what we did to the Native Americans?
Oh, treated them nicely?
Yeah, so that's what the Japanese did to some of their indigenous populations, and there's some parallels though from a Japanese perspective.
We're all garbage.
But I know when people first like watch this for the first time, especially when we're looking at 2003, we are drawing a lot of parallels and from those current events, which was American intervention in the war in Iraq. I'm not saying that's specifically what this is. I think some people say like that's clearly what this is, but I think that at the time, and I think now there's other kind of conflicts that people can draw parallels to, that I think are very apt, and so that's why I get really stressed out while watching this. So there's a lot
we get it, trolls. Everybody does bad stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
Think of that one comment you got in a troll.
Oh my god. Oh, that was really frustrating. I don't talk about that right now. But
we won't. That was funny.
Oh my god. I tried to like be empathetic online, and someone thought I was a horrible person because
you weren't empathetic to everybody.
Yeah, I was like, actually, those people did something terrible too, and I was like, I'm just trying to be nice. Anyway,
they've done terrible things. We did terrible things to them. Go.
Yeah. I mean, again, there's a lot more depth to that, but we are just trying to watch a show, guys. So, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
That was such a long pitch.
It is. I think it was important. It was important to have, though. So the year is 1908. In this country, not the real world. And
1908 was probably fine. It feels like nothing really bad happened in 1908.
It was before World War I, so I think we're okay.
I feel like the early 1900s weren't that terrible. I'm thinking like.
I mean, they were working on it.
What was Samantha from American Girl dolls doing then?
She would have been 14 years old. Because she was 10 in 1904.
I thought she was 9 in 1904. I thought they're all 9.
Oh, well then they turned 10. 1905.
She just had to deal with fancy Victorian stuff.
She was 13.
She just had to deal with fancy Victorian stuff and having 10 parents.
Good times.
Which American Girl doll did not have to suffer?
They all did. So the year is 1908, and of the Ishvalan War has been raging for 7 years. And all of a sudden they're like, hey, what if we just end this? So Fuhrer King Bradley signs the Executive Order number 3066.
So peace treaty.
If you consider everyone being dead to be peaceful.
I don't.
So this is exactly the extermination part of the Ishvalan War of Extermination. So basically any Ishvalan, fair target.
So nobody in the army was like, excusez-moi.
Yeah.
But like there's like women and children who I don't actually think did anything wrong. There's like babies.
Yeah.
Who were probably born during the war.
We get to have this conversation in a way, where.
But it feels like nobody, like, once they saw that was like, hey, like it's just maybe not, but like our mains we're like hey, this feels wrong.
I think this is a very interesting parallel to real life. I think we assume in those contexts that we are immune to inhumanity. But I think when you are part of a structure like a military, there's a mix of a few different things that happen. There is one, you gotta obey your orders or you are going home dishonorably, and that is your lifeline, that's your money, that's your livelihood, that is how you're supporting your family. Also, there is nationalism, there is patriotism, which says
maybe that was the other ism.
Yeah, patriotism?
I don't know.
But there is the thing that says, and I think this gets discussed at some point in this episode, where it's like, oh, we genuinely thought like we were doing this for the better of our country. We're protecting our country. We're protecting our people. We are the people that we're killing. This is defense. The extermination. This is defense. And so this is what we're doing. So what we're doing is actually protecting us. It's protecting our people, even though that is blatant propaganda.
I need a nap.
Yeah, dear, it's rough, my dude. But this is kind of where we are at that. And I think there is the degree, and we get to see this kind of as this conversation unfolds after like this one scene. I'll get to the scene and then we'll get to the conversation about like, yeah, they're hardened, like they are hardened by this. Like there are people who are recognizing what they're doing, but they are already here. Mm-hmm. And so one person cannot stand against this. And if you do, you're dead. Mm-hmm. Like you're getting court-martialed. Like you are lucky if you get to go home dishonorably, or you're like friendly fire, basically.
This is like
and
what that's I hate this so much.
Yeah.
I like yes. Okay, but like if you like point out to like, can't we just? I'm so upset.
Yeah, Dara.
I'm just like, why are we like this?
Because people suck.
I didn't think like in like Game of Thrones they did something like because like there's like the people like who are like watch the wall, mm-hmm. and like this one guy like deserts because he sees a zombie, which like fair. I know they're White Walkers, but I'm saying zombies because Kaylin doesn't know. And then he has to get beheaded because he's deserted, and I'm like, but.
Yeah.
And then it's by the very honorable guy who that's this world. I'm tired.
Yeah. And so as we kind of see this order kind of unfold, we get to see the bringing in of the state alchemists who are going to be doing the bulk of that extermination.
And, of course, the state alchemists.
I think of all the human sacrifices we have now.
Listen here. I am the Iron Blood Alchemist, Boss Grod.
He's dead.
Iron and blood. I am both soldier and weapon. Now stand down. I am the only man able to take the lead.
Why are you monologuing? It's a war.
Yeah, my guy.
Except it's not a war. I'm the genocide.
Yeah. Aww. I don't get how Armstrong's still in the army after this.
Dude, this is so hard to watch. This is so fucking rough, man. I hate it so much.
They took my leg! Those savage Ishvala dogs! Damn them!
Didn't you murder them?
Yeah, he died later.
Not him.
Yeah, well, he also murdered people.
They're like, this stuff just took my leg, and I'm like, what?
You did kill them. And so we see Bas Grand, the Iron Blood Alchemist, who, of course, was later killed by Scar.
Good.
We actually get to see a repeat of a scene from Scar's flashback episode, where a giant wall goes up that stops people from leaving the area, and then the army's able to literally firing squad murder people, and we actually get to see who put up that wall. Of course, someone who's really good with stone and rocks, the strong alchemist Alex Armstrong. We get to see him again. He understands what he is doing. Like, Armstrong understands what he is doing. He's like in tears doing this, but it's like
the dilemma. It's like either I can like do this, or I can like I can feel like what I did is like the right thing and like lose everything. It's like kind of that like very hard thing of just like
and I think
like do you like you can like have like nothing and probably like die, but you at least like in your heart you did the right thing,
right? And I think,
or do you want to like I can't even remember, but I like
no, you're
but like, or do you want to like do this like bad thing and then like find a way to fix it somehow.
Right, and Armstrong remarks in an earlier episode, on one that I think we watched, not many before this, but, you know, he is on board with the things that they're doing in the present day because he flashes back to this time where he was, he knows he was a coward.
I think it was the last episode we watched.
Yeah, he knows that the things that he did or he was a part of, he knows that they were bad, and he knows that he was doing wrong, but he was too much of a coward to stand up against it, and now this is his chance in kind of the present part to be a part of that and actually stand against that. So we kind
Armstrong's
of see
so good. Like, I mean,
Armstrong's so
he's
much.
not. I mean, he did some bad things, but
He's also a war criminal.
I think I feel this way, and we'll get to this when we get to the end part.
Yeah.
But he understands that he did not stand up for what he believes in.
Yeah.
He's ashamed of himself.
Yes.
For not standing up for it and is trying to fix it. Mm-hmm. Which I feel like is like, I can forgive somebody, even if they do horrible things. I can forgive somebody if, like, they realize it's a bad thing, they're ashamed of themselves, they feel guilt, and they try to work how to fix it.
Yeah. And so, apparently Isaac McDowell was there. I missed him.
Who?
That was the guy from the first episode. They put him in this episode.
Oh, the guy I don't remember because I don't care about that episode?
Exactly. And then we see the silver alchemist who is complaining about losing his legs. We also see him in a previous episode. He was killed by Scar later. So it's kind of interesting. We're seeing kind of the reverse of all this. So first we know these
It's not
guys...
like, I'm going to lose my legs. Like, there's a lot of dead bodies here.
You also killed people, buddy.
Oh, I just had a dark joke, but I don't know if I want to say it.
Go for it.
Think of the smell.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting to kind of see this reverse of, as when we were first introduced to Scar, he's a very antagonistic character. He's just killing these state alchemists. But now we see those same guys. Now we actually see like what they did to have gotten to that situation.
Right.
And now we're kind of like,
well,
that guy.
Well, I was kind of like I wasn't like sure I loved about Scar in the beginning because I was like, I always had a vibe like something goes up with the military.
Yes.
Like from the beginning, some kind of just like, I thought he was like just like revenge, and I'm like, I don't know if I did the whole like revenge thing. Yeah. Although I didn't know about these violent parts. I thought he was just like a guy who wanted to kill. Yeah. For God reasons. Yeah. So I was like, you know, and then you learn about the Ishval stuff in the beginning, and you're just like, war crimes. War crimes. What's a country that hasn't done a war crime?
I was trying to think of a really small country, and I was like, the Vatican. I was like, well, they've done other crimes, so.
Luxembourg?
I don't know enough about Luxembourg.
Me neither.
It's better we just probably not try to answer that question. So again, when we're seeing some of the other alchemists as well, we see Hawkeye kind of.
I would say New Zealand, but I don't know.
They seem alright, but there's like the whole colonizer aspect of it all.
And there was there was that whole battle with Sauron and like that whole thing.
Oh my god, yeah! I can't forget about that.
Remember
the Fallen.
The battle. I don't even know what that battle was called.
I'm not a real fan. Anyway, so Jesus Christ. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay.
But yeah, and so and also in this word, Hawkeye is a sniper, so she's just point blank.
I didn't find
them kids.
I didn't find it interesting why she joined the military.
I guess we don't get that explained in this episode.
Because her father was very anti-military. Yeah, and like maybe was it just to like hang out with Mustang? But I don't even think that's the reason.
Not to hang out with him. If we didn't talk about it here, this will get talked about in another episode. Okay, it's more explicitly stated. Okay. But yeah, I mean, and then we kind of see some of the other characters that we actually like. So Roy Mustang, Hughes is back. Oh my god, Maze Hughes!
He's dead.
He in the present, yes, but here he's very much alive.
Also, I'm gonna say this about Hughes right now. Hughes, buddy,
yeah,
pal,
yeah,
amigo, you're being too mellow here. I know you're he's a fairly mellow guy. Yeah, like which I'm fine with. Yeah. Here though. Mm-hmm. Too mellow, too like, it's fine, kind of.
It's the war.
It's a war. It's fine. Yeah. Buddy. Mm-hmm. And I know that probably, and I think it's probably because he's there, but he's probably not doing a lot of the killing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. Why is he even there?
Hughes?
Yeah.
He was in the military.
I guess because I never.
They talk about them getting shipped out. So in the same way that the military works is that you're not choosing necessarily to go to war. You're signing up for the military, and they're choosing who goes to war. Yeah. And that's kind of what Hughes is. He was in the military, and they're like, cool, out to the front. He's like, doesn't have much else to do, so you know that's where he's gonna go.
He's too mellow about it.
You've changed since the last time I saw you.
It's called murdering people.
You have the eyes of a killer.
Yeah. It's not exactly the future we imagined when we were at the academy.
Yeah. I guess that future could never be. Captain, you have a letter.
I feel like sometimes Hugh is like a bit too mellow.
Yeah.
Like my guy.
What? What's wrong? And her name is Gracia! She's patiently waiting at Central for the day I can come home! All alone. How long before some jerk puts the moves on her? No, Gracia would never do that to me.
Number one
She'd
wife
never
guy.
have an affair like that. But she is all alone.
It happens in movies and novels all of the time. The soldiers who never shut up about their girls back home, they don't make it.
Fair. Also foreshadowing.
Yes.
I can think about tomorrow again. Even if this damn battlefield might not let me see it.
I can't picture any way out of this war. The desert seems to just suck it up.
Maybe
like
we
water.
don't do the genocide.
Maybe we
All
don't
this
do
destruction.
genocide.
I mean,
Maybe we
For
just
what
don't do
purpose?
genocide.
All that's left is sand.
somebody questioned like why we're doing the genocide, even
It
though like,
seems
it's
a
like all
little
our
excessive
fault, and
to
like maybe we
suppress
should
an
have come up
uprising.
with like a peace conference. I know why we didn't. Because the government's a dick.
Hello, Major Mustang. Long time no see. Do you still remember me?
Damn this war. Even her. She has the eyes of a killer, too.
She has killed many of them. Not good. And they both have what they refer to as the eyes of a killer, which is this kind of hollowed out look that they have, showing that they, you know, they have killed people. Even though we love them, especially like Hughes, like number one wife guy, really cool guy. Like he is
Good father.
also, he's a great father.
Dead.
Really good guy. Also, you know, dead. Also died trying to help further the plot
He
and
did.
help the good guys. He still killed innocent people. It is very important for us to understand that
I do find
people that we like have done very bad things.
I do find I am curious of like a what if for the show. What if like he found out the information that he had and then like died like an episode later, and like for some reason like could not get a hold of anybody, and like just and like having to deal with that, and then got killed, because like basically we don't really see, we see him like a little bit having to react to like the news like when he finds out, but then he just dies. Like we never actually get to see him like process it fully.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with Hughes was that he was a very smart guy, so he learned something, immediately takes action on it, which was a smart thing to do. He just like, there was no way, he was just outranked on all sides of him, unfortunately. But yeah, they everyone that we see's got them eyes of a killer.
Major, why are we being ordered to kill citizens when we should be the ones protecting them?
You got a point.
That alchemy was meant to be used to help people.
She's right.
Why is it being used to kill them instead?
Because
Everybody's eyes are
what
shaking.
state alchemists have been given to do. You ask why we're here
Fuck that guy.
killing these people instead of protecting them? Because this is a war, and that's what soldiers do.
That's not.
Isn't that right?
I mean, like,
You think this is our job? To cause tragedy?
But can you honestly tell me, in that split second when you take down an enemy, you don't allow yourself to feel the slightest tinge of satisfaction and pride in your skills? Well, Miss Marksman,
That's enough, Kimberly!
I'll tell you what I
Don't
don't
be a
get.
dick.
Did you people expect something different? You act like you're surprised, like you didn't choose this.
Fair?
Did you put on that uniform thinking you wouldn't be asked to kill?
the show is so
The
fascinating.
one thing, and don't ever forget them, because I promise that they won't forget you.
They're fine?
Girl, you a bike trail? Because you acting like a
Oh, too bad.
psychopath.
There's
Can you tell me why you fight?
It's simple. I don't want to die. That's the only reason.
You could have not
Reasons
joined the
are
army.
really Simple.
I mean, money and job security, though.
No.
We all kind of need that, unfortunately. We live in a society.
Should we join the army?
What
No.
the hell
Okay.
is the
And they're all just, like, pretty taken by, like, some of the horrible things that they've had to do. And Kimberly is here. We know Kimberly, right?
This is kind of the first time.
he's,
I feel like probably one of the first times we've had like an actual like conversation with him, and it's like,
yeah.
hey, buddy.
Besides just him being a dude in jail or him being in a flashback. I mean, we're still flashback, but now we're kind of trying to understand him a little bit more as a character. All we know about him so far is that he likes killing people, and he is the reason that Scar's family is dead.
Yes.
That's we really don't have to.
So
do much else about
he
him.
seems like the kind of person who joined the military because he wants to kill people.
He likes to kill people. He likes blowing shit up. He's having a really great time with it.
And it's not like hollowed out like after a point when they're just like, what's the point of all this killing, man?
Yeah, and so Kimberly's like, that's what we're here for. He's like, you can't act like you
That's
didn't
what
know.
the military is for, and only that. It's not supposed to help people.
Pretty much. He's like, it's naive to think that we're helping people. He's like, you knew when you joined, this is what we were going to do. He's like, stop acting like you're high and mighty. Do it or don't. But like, here we are. So, you know, I actually, the way that Kimberly talks about it, like, obviously it comes like off as very harsh, but also like just what he's saying about the military isn't like wrong.
Right. But it's not just kill. Like,
yeah, obviously. No, clearly.
Like, I understand, like, people, like, I could never join the military just because I'm a coward. But also, like, I do have the belief that the military is not just there to, like, you don't join it because you, like, I mean, I think technically there is records of some people joining it because they just want to kill foreigners.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, post 9/11 America, a lot of people joined because they wanted to kill people.
see, I was thinking of the 90s because technically Oklahoma City.
Oh, yeah. And I want to have a level of separation from understanding of, like, the U.S. military, because, like, I got opinions on those. I got opinions in that. I want to keep that removed because I value my life and well-being.
I personally think that there is a good chunk of people who join the military because they want to protect, like, their country. Yeah. That thing. I think also because, unfortunately, we say to people like, hey, we'll pay for your college if you just join the military, which I don't love because it feels forced.
Yeah, I just want to say my if I'm making blanket statements here about military in general, I'm referring to, like, military in a fictional context for simplicity's sake, because we don't have to get that deep into it.
I do believe that majority of people join the military want to help people and they want to protect people.
I think the majority of people join the military because they need money.
That's true.
No, I'm not to laugh. I
think that's
exist. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. There exist predatory practices to deliberately get people from lower incomes to join the military to make it.
You are correct. But I think like I think it's what else with like first responders. I'm just like, because I kind of feel like it's like they want to help people, they want to protect people. There are some bad apples.
Yeah, for the firemen.
Yeah,
we like the firemen. And the EMTs, those guys are great. I don't know how they do that. So I love those guys.
I like the good police officers.
Yeah, I mean, I have family in law enforcement, so, like, you know, if they're watching this,
like, I think most
we're not bringing this up at the next family function.
Like I think most people, I like to believe that most people are good people, but we have a bunch of bad apples, and, like, the phrase is like
one bad apple spoils the bunch. Yeah.
Which, like, I was watching the John Oliver thing where like somebody said, like, there's some bad apples, but that doesn't mean they're all bad. It's like, that's not the phrase.
That's literally actually not the phrase. But I don't want to get too deep into that because we're gonna.
I don't buy a bag of apples if there's a spoiled one in there. It's gross.
I bought a bag of apples yesterday, and I'm actually excited to eat them.
It was one of them spoiled?
I don't think so. I picked them myself.
I did almost
not from the tree, just from the thing. I'm not that fancy. Anyway, I
don't do that anymore because every time I did go out picking as a kid, they were chickens.
That's fair.
So
that's fair. You gotta pick your battles there. Okay. Oh my god.
I feel like we still have time to talk about.
Oh god, there's so much to talk about here. That's okay. No, I think we were gonna. I think we were gonna. Are we like an hour in? Jesus, no, are you kidding me?
We're like 55 minutes.
Holy shit. This is a long one, folks. This is a doozy. Oh my god, I have to edit this. Anyway, I have to edit this in a very short amount of time too. Life is great. Anyway, so
I mean, editing's fun.
Editing is fun. It's gonna be a good time. No. This is good stuff. I think this is where we're talking about this. This is why we're not filming 6 episodes today.
Fair.
Anyway, Kimberly sucks.
He's kind of a dick. Oh no!
Oh, that's awful.
Oh, because they need live people. Why are they killing people on the field then?
No.
Okay.
Cover those tracks, maybe.
took the lives of my people to create a Philosopher's Stone?
Yes.
What happened to this stone? It was given to Major Zolf J. Kimbley.
Why?
He was known as the Crimson Alchemist.
And
Did you see what this man looked like? Did he have black hair and cold eyes? Yes.
to be fair, many of them did actually.
Brother, that single stone turned the battle around.
What a beautiful sound.
Oh god.
It doesn't get any better than that.
Rough, man.
I can feel it deep in my bones. Like a part of me I never noticed before. That sound is an extension of my being. I couldn't dream of a more fulfilling job.
Yeah.
Put it in his mouth.
He just keeps it in his mouth.
Such a beautiful sound! Like a symphony! This stone is amazing!
Hey, that guy's stable.
It did.
So we're going to flash back to the present day. Dr. Marco explains to Scar that one of the reasons for the war was to make Philosopher's Stone.
This part was unpleasant.
Yeah, so they brought prisoners of war to Laboratory 5 in Central City, where, of course, they had that transmutation circle we've seen before, and which they used to make the Philosopher's Stone. And they're literally just tying people down and just straight up transmuting their souls to make a circle. It's rough.
It's not fun.
And they're like, one of the stone that we made, we gave to Kimbley.
Great idea.
He's really good at killing people, and we just want him to kill more people. And of course, it is a small world, so Scar is very familiar with Kimbley. He doesn't know the name off the top of his head, but he doesn't know for certain, but he is like, has, I think, a sinking suspicion that he knows who this guy is, and it turns out it is, in fact, the person who killed his family. Yeah, so anyway, we're gonna go back to 1908, talk about Kimbley a little more, because dude loves to kill people.
Unfortunately.
That's all you gotta know about him.
I'm gonna learn alchemy to murder.
Yeah. And so kind of towards the very end of the war, I think this is a very interesting scene.
The Ishvalans were slaughtered. With no other options, the Ishvalans surrendered.
You're asking me to take your life in place of the remaining tens of thousands of Ishvalans.
That's correct. I stand.
How arrogant of you. Do you sincerely believe that your single life is equivalent to the remaining multitude of your followers? Your stature is gone to your head. The
Okay, this
life
is
of
for your
any
fault.
individual
You.
human is only worth
Fuck
one
you.
life.
I'm
That's
not
all,
liking these
nothing
bad
more.
guys.
Your life is not enough to call off the extermination.
How can you be so inhuman? You will suffer the hammer of
God.
God.
It is not
This
fully
is-
human.
This
Now,
is
this
so...
is intriguing. How much longer do you think your God plans to wait?
You're a monster.
Open your eyes. God is nothing more than a construct created by man to inspire fear and promote order. If you wish to see me struck down for all these atrocities, use your own hands to do so, not God's.
And they kind of give up. They don't give up. Their leader, their religious leader, volunteers. He goes to speak to King Bradley, and he was like, I am giving my life to spare the tens of thousands of people still living. And which I think there's a nobleness to that, right?
Yeah.
To say that, like, you know, the willingness to be like, I am willing to put down my life to save my people. And Bradley is like, that's stupid. No. Which is awful, because King Bradley's like, why do you think that your life is worth more than one other life?
Right, because technically the military knows like why they need these people.
Yeah.
So it's like really like they're just assuming that like they just hate them and want to take over. So like,
yeah, and you know, there's, oh god, sorry, I'm thinking about real life parallels. It hurts, man. It hurts thinking about stuff. But there's this idea. It's like, oh well, why do you think that you're worth more? You're just one person. That's not going to stop us from doing what we're doing. And then Bradley kind of like very cruelly calls into question their religion and is like, if you believe in this God guy, why doesn't he strike me down? Obviously, if he likes you guys so much, that's stupid. You're stupid. If you want to do anything, you should kill me yourself. And you know, he calls into question the religion. He's like, why does this all matter? And anyway, so that's not great.
That's not how you talk to people who have other religions.
That's not a diplomatic way to go about that.
And like technically, I mean, like not in this instance, but in other instances, some people like do have more value, in like a sense of. Like,
I think right symbolically. I think
like if somebody dies, like they could end up being a martyr.
Yes, exactly. I think there's it's a symbolism. It's not. I don't think inherently, obviously, any life is worth more than the other. I mean, we assign value based on our personal relationships to what people mean. I don't think at a base inherent level that any human is worth more than any other human. But of course, we as individuals with thoughts and opinions and feelings assign people in relation to us value. And so obviously here, like in terms of the Ishvalan religion, Emestrians do not give a shit, and they're just like, that doesn't mean anything to us. So your gesture serves no purpose here. I really cannot overstate how like heavy all of this is. Oh man!
And we were all discharged.
Hooray!
Yay, we did it!
Now we know. We really are as expendable as garbage to them.
But that doesn't matter. With what little strength I have, I'll do whatever it takes to protect the people I love. And in turn, they'll protect the ones they love. It seems like the least we tiny humans can do for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they think that they killed all of them?
I don't think so. I think a lot of them are.
Like,
a lot of them are. I think they recognize that there are refugees now, and there's they just don't. They don't have the land anymore. It's just the people who are left, and they're just kind of like sequestered to the furthest reaches of the country.
So they're kind of like
and in
that
various
feels
refugee
like
camps.
Weird though, because like they really just I know they just want their souls, so they just like not caring about that anymore. Or they're kind of like
well, they got their stone, so
they got a whole stone.
They got,
but then they still kill people. They still like can't they kill people?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
but that doesn't make sense. Like why? It's like okay, we got our stone now. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
I mean, it's not. I don't think that the stone was the sole purpose. I think that was one of the reasons. I think there were other reasons.
Is it more just like okay, like we know that they're still out there, and once we figure out like this whole like we can make a giant transmutation circle thing, then we can bring them back and use them. Although,
I mean, I think when you bring back the giant transmutation circle, that's everybody.
Oh no, but you don't.
That's everybody.
Well, like you technically don't. But you need the human sacrifice more to make a philosopher's stone. You can kind of just make a transmutation circle.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's more just like, do they think we need X amount of philosopher's stones to make a transmutation circle?
No, I think it's twofold. I think it's using the lives from the war to make a stone, and it is also the land gained from annexing and then. But we can use that land because we need
this whole. Yes. Okay, got it. I still don't know why we're doing this.
What a great question. I'm
like there needs to be a purpose.
I'm in such despair right now.
I know I'm not gonna like the purpose. I know I'm not gonna like the purpose, but I'm gonna be like, okay, I understand this. And again, if the purpose is just for fun, that's a purpose.
It's not. I know. I think I don't want to give too much away because I feel like I know this. I think there is a common theme, I think, with regards to alchemy in this show. Okay. And I think it does play into that. I think one of the overarching themes of that. We'll wait till we get there, I think, to discuss it. But like, I think there is more than just like for shits and giggles. I mean,
I believe you.
Probably. Yeah. So it's rough out here, actually. And that's the war. That's the war. We saw more in this episode, but just that's kind of where we're ending, like the actual being in the time period of the war.
So in conclusion,
anything like that.
Bunch of people, a lot of dead people.
A lot of people died, and it's harrowing. It's I think it's a very hard watch, especially if you are like me and you're on certain circles of social media and you get to see very present pictures of active war zones, and you get to see some things that look very similar to what you're seeing.
I feel like that's your own fault.
I'm not even looking for it. It literally just like pops up sometimes. And I'm like, I wasn't looking for this. But I think there's also a degree of like, I think like we're talking earlier in the episode, I think there's like a reckoning that comes with, I'm going to get kind of deep here. I'm sorry. I think there's a reckoning that comes with understanding that like you are in a position where like there's a very good likelihood that you will not have to deal with something like this in your immediate vicinity in the present or near future. and then reckoning with that, but also what it means to be a member of Citizen that has power, that is also playing a role in making scenes that look like that elsewhere. And I think we all respond to that differently. I think it's very easy for people to be like, this is way too much to handle, so like I'm disconnecting from it. And I think there's also those who feel like they have a sense of responsibility to deeply understand what that means, and either seek that information out or take it when it comes to them. I mean, again, I don't think we as a society were meant to be disconnected. So internet, great. Also internet, terrible. And so, I think we all reckon with what that means in its own way. But I think there is like a level, and this is kind of really the framing of, not quite the framing, but I think this is a pillar or an aspect of the kind of how this conversation is playing out in the show between Ed and Hawkeye. Of like, this is what we did, and as we kind of come back out from this, Riza Hawkeye is very clear about like the things that we did were bad.
Yes.
The things that we did were awful. Even though you like us, even though we're cool and we're trying to do good now, the things that we did, even though we did them under orders, were still things that we did as human beings with agency.
Colonel does become the Fuhrer. How will that change the fact that this is still a military state?
Well,
He's right.
It won't. The first thing we'll have to do is restore power to the Parliament. We'll take it back from the military and make it democratic again.
Good luck.
For example, those who were praised as heroes during the Ishvalan campaign will be brought to trial as war criminals.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the Colonel is trying to make sure this happens? Isn't that just like committing suicide? But the
Righteous
Homunculi
suicide.
were the ones pulling the strings. They caused the Civil War.
Even if they were the ones responsible for it, we were the soldiers who carried it out.
And she's right, though.
You should never avert your eyes from death. Never forget the people you've killed.
want to wait till the review.
Trust
Oh, we got a
No matter
lot to
how
talk
much
about.
time
There's a lot
they
of
will
philosophy
never
here.
forget.
Happy almost election day.
It's not right.
Your hands are already full. You need to look after your brother, Ed, and you need to get your bodies back.
Yeah, you
Better
need to
get
take
to
care
it.
of your body,
You got
because
plenty of people
Yeah.
waiting for that
Because it's
day.
his body, too. Hawkeye says it straight out.
they
She's
should
like,
also,
we
and
are
sh-
war
and
criminals.
we should be punished.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
But like, I mean, you said it for like with like the military thing. It's actually it's like very complicated. It's like you do the war crime, or
Yeah.
you go to prison, or
Yeah.
like I said, at best you get a dishonorable discharge, which is also not good.
Yeah. But when we talk about the future of the country, and we talk more about Mustang, and Mustang, who we all know from the very beginning is very ambitious and has his eyes on very lofty goals of being in power. And we kind of get to learn more, which is this is not... We just think that Roy wants to be Fuhrer, but Fuhrer means perpetuating the military government.
Right.
Being Fuhrer means, and I think for the first time that we hear it in the show, I think especially how you react, and we're like, oh, Roy wants to be Fuhrer, and you're like, that's not a good thing. To want to be a Fuhrer, that's bad, because that is inherently a bad position, because being a leader of a military government is not a good thing.
No.
But we actually get here that this is actually understood by the characters in the military, or by the people in this circle, because that if even when Roy gets there, to properly make things right, you have to basically dissolve and rebuild the government.
Yeah.
So talking about, now we start talking about real politics here. We're giving the power back to the parliament, dissolving the military aspect of the government. Not dissolving the military, but taking it from a military
You gotta rearrange
military
it.
dictatorship, and then making it a democracy. And then what you have to do there is that you have to follow through, and you have to set the example that what we did was bad. And to do that, you have to put the people on trial.
Yeah.
And say you committed war crimes, and you need to face the consequences of your actions. Which I think is absolutely fascinating.
That they all recognize that they need to, that they haven't even faced.
Yes.
Although, I wonder, like, if you feel this way, like the trauma that you experience from a horrible thing. Sometimes I'm not saying it's punishment enough,
No.
but I do think it is a form of punishment.
Yes.
I'm not saying, and I'm not. Do I think? I mean, I think that they should be like go to, on some kind of like trial and like go to a prison. I don't think the death penalty, but that's because I don't believe in the death penalty. But that's me.
Yes. We're not even saying like jail or death, but just that there should be a trial. There should be punishment to the actions that they
Yeah,
do.
because like I mean, like I said, like my thing is like, especially for somebody who's bad, if you understand what you did and you feel ashamed and guilt and you work on not only yourself to get better, but try to make amends.
Yeah.
To me, that's like kind like I can like I think that is like good.
Yeah.
And like some kind of like I don't know if it's like if you feel like the shame and the guilt and like you try to make things like better, then I think even and like that can like I guess I'm more like maybe a punishment. I don't know, like maybe community service should be like the thing that we do.
Yeah. Well, I think this is really hard because I think that we also have to understand this there's a very interesting perspective to this because it's very easy for us to be very forgiving of these characters because we like these characters, because we understand them as people, we know them as people, we're meeting them on a level in which we meet acquaintances, friends, and people that we care for. So it's very easy for us to have that reaction of like, yeah, like there were criminals, but like they're like not that bad. But I think that is less likely if we're like taking from real life examples, and we think about people who are like actual war criminals, and I think we're like, oh, that person, no, that sucks. So I think it brings in a very interesting perspective of like, and I think this is one of the criticisms I've seen. I haven't seen many criticisms of the show, but I think someone I saw recently was talking about like something they didn't like as much was that it feels like it gives the people who the war criminals a little bit more of a pass. And I'm like, even after watching this, I'm actually surprised because I'm like, they do like recognize, like they do talk about it, but I think in a degree, because these are the good guys, you know, are we giving them more of a pass than they deserve? And that's kind of a question. I'm going to like leave that question to kind of like for other people to answer, because I think that's like a really interesting, because we know them and we like them and we understand them as people and we know that they're doing good now. To what degree does that absolve their past crimes?
Well, I think that anytime it's like
all.
the thing that is fascinating about these characters. I mean, and we can even say like you can like a character and definitely like be like they're not a good guy. Like
yeah,
I can think of like several characters in shows we watch. Like I like them,
yeah, but
I know they're not good people. So like I feel like that's like a whole thing. I mean, obviously real life that's like a whole different spiel.
Yes,
but it is fascinating that basically all of the characters. I don't even know. Like I don't know if Hughes recognized it, but like he's dead, so who cares?
Yeah, good riddance.
But it's
no, I don't mean that.
But it is kind of fascinating that like these people who did commit war crimes are not like defending their crimes.
Yeah,
I think like once
yes.
That's important. I mean, I do kind of also believe that they probably had a lot. It's like kind of like defending them in the sense of like, did they have like a lot of propaganda given to them? Yes. Did they? Like I think like Armstrong's probably like the best example. Like he probably has propaganda and then saw what he was doing was wrong and like you know, had like you have like that dilemma of like, do you keep going and like commit these crimes or do you like desert, and then that can also lead to bad things. And you got to be on the run for the rest of your life, or you were in jail,
right,
in prison, or even death.
Yeah,
which is like, and then and like, is that worth doing the right thing sometimes?
Yeah, and that's, and I think that's kind of a question that is left to the viewer. I think that's something that we will leave to our viewers. Is kind of like, I mean, obviously we all got our own opinions and thoughts and feelings about things, but like I think sometimes some questions have to be big questions that you like just put out there, and you're like, these are the breaks, kid.
I do kind of like how like these people recognize that they're not good people.
Yes.
I mean, it is kind of interesting, like, before that they knew, like, the whole stuff with the military, that they're kind of just, like, kept doing what they were doing in order to protect people. But there might also be, like, a thing of, like, this is all I know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, like, I'm just, like, so dead inside that, like, I'm just going to keep, like, doing this. Like, we don't actually...
very much so.
We don't see much of them outside of work.
We don't. Anytime we see them outside the uniforms, we're like, oh my god, who's that?
Right. And, like, I mean, like, look at Hawkins' apartment. Like, it's not much.
Yeah.
It kind of, like, I don't know, like, if, like, it literally... I mean... He had a wife and child.
Yeah.
So, like,
he had a very nice apartment, actually.
Like, he had a decent, I guess he had, like, a nice life, but we don't know, like, if, like, for some people, like, they do, like, their job and then they go home and just, like, sit on their bed and cry all night.
Yeah.
They could do that.
Shell shock, yeah.
Again, like, I think, like, the mental trauma and, like, PTSD is a form of punishment.
Yeah.
Not, like, it shouldn't be, but,
it doesn't mean that, but also, we can say that without necessarily meaning that it is equivalent to the punishment that is deserved, or like the what makes it right, but I mean, it is a form of it.
It is definitely fucked.
Yeah.
And I do feel, and it's kind of like the stuff that you can do in your own head is like can fuck with you.
Yeah.
Anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to put this disclaimer out there. I think this is like the third or fourth time that I've done that. But like, no, I think this is really important to understand. Like, we were talking about a show. Obviously we are drawing real world parallels. We are doing this, but at the end of the day, we are just a couple of people who are not qualified to talk about anything to this degree. Just understanding things as people who live in a society, and we are like trying to have a good time here, even though this is like a really heavy subject. So I just want to put that out there.
Are we
like
having
the
a good
fifth
time?
I'm. Great question. I think I just want to, like we talk about things the way we understand them from our own limited perspectives, and we encourage discussion to do the same. We also encourage everyone to act like nice and humanely. And obviously we're going to raise some questions that seem like they have obvious answers to them. It's more of like, through watching this show, you can see how different perspectives can change how we think about certain things, based on, the humanity level which we view people. Do with that what you may. And like, I don't know, smoke a joint or something and try to have a good day.
Have a gummy.
Have a nice weed gummy. So I think that's kind of how I think I want to close. We still have more of the show left. I think that's how I'm going to close out the war discussion. Anything else before that? I think that's a good closing point for like the war crime discussion. Is there anything else do you have
war
anything
crime
else
discussions?
Yeah, no. Is there anything else you want to add to that before I kind of talk?
No, I
about
think I
the rest of the
said
show?
basically like my thing is I don't know enough about it, and then I think it's very much easier to defend like fictional characters than like real life people, and even then it's hard because like if you like a person and they do something horrible, then you're kind of like it's complicated, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's
Life's complicated.
It's so complicated.
Can we just, again, if you just like want to put me in a cabin with a nice comfy bed and all my technology and like enough food to survive, I'll be happy. Can you just like leave me?
Just leave the air on. Give me a nice movie. Life's good.
Leave me alone.
I did kind of skip over this flashback, so I'm gonna go back. So editing me doesn't hate me when I have to put this part of the reaction in. But after the war, we see Mustang at his command position at Eastern Command.
So, you've decided to take this path after all, even after what you went through in Ishval.
Yes, sir. If the world truly operates based on the principles of equivalent exchange, then we soldiers have plenty to give back.
From now on, I'm assigning you to be my assistant. I feel like I can trust you to watch
Wow,
my back.
thanks.
Do I still get to shoot
Although,
people?
I expect you understand what this means.
Yes.
You'll be able to shoot me in the back as well. If I ever deviate from this path, then I want you to shoot me. Do you accept my offer?
Of course I do, sir. I'll follow you into
It's like
hell.
Infinity
if you ask
War,
me to.
remember? Stop.
But even if the
Mustang says like, okay, well, if you are gonna be if you're gonna have my back, that also means you have access to my back. So at any point, you could shoot me in the back. And she kind of recognizes that, and he says, if I ever stray, you have permission to shoot me, pretty much.
Right. I think it's saying more like, okay, like, yes, like, Mustang does have these ambitions, but he's very much like I don't want to be a bad person.
Yeah. And he's
So, and like, he probably saw like Kimberly and was like, he probably thinks like alchemy can make you be this bad. So he's like, if I ever get to that point, you just kill me. We're done.
Yeah, I mean, because Mustang trusts Hawkeye with his life, and not just in the way where he trusts her to have his back and make sure that he stays alive, but he also trusts her with his life. Whereas, like, if my life gets out of a hand in which, like, I am not the person who at my core I need to be, take me out, bro. And this is what I really like. One of the things I really like about Mustang and Hawkeye is that they really do have this deep connection that is not just like, not just coworkers, not just people who like each other, not just people who have a history, but people who are so deeply tied at like a base existence level, because they are so deeply tied together, because they've been through all this stuff together, and they are like, you not just hey, I appreciate you, but like, hey, we gotta keep each other alive. And that's a thing that comes up a lot with them, is that like, like Hawkeye said, like, I'm not just gonna stand here and do whatever, like, you gotta come back alive. And then they kind of like do this to each other as well. So they have that very like deep connection in that regard. And they're both definitely healthy and stable people. Anyway, and then then we kind of have the scene.
I'm good.
Risa. Okay, you good? You didn't say your things?
I might have wanted to.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to.
Good job. I'm proud of you. We're gonna leave the military folks for a second. Well, technically not, but we're gonna go back.
Oh my god, a happy-ish and a cute ending.
Yeah, a really cute ending. So we're gonna go back to Dr. Knox's house.
I'll get our bodies back, and Al will help me.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, Dr. Knox. Sorry for the intrusion.
Excuse me, Mr. Armor?
Huh?
I just wanted to thank you for your help. You
Oh.
saved both of our lives.
My name's not Mr. Armor. It's Alphonse Elric.
Your name is Elric?
You remember Edward Elric, don't you?
Don't
The little
remind me.
alchemist you screamed at?
Sure do.
Well, I'm actually his younger brother. It's kind of a long story, but I lost my
Your
body.
mom died.
You probably look just like him then.
How rude! For starters, I am way taller than my brother is, and I don't have a mean face like his, and I'm a much better fighter, too. And I don't have a temper like he does. I'm a gentleman.
Damn it! Ow!
I
Ow!
really hope that you get your body back soon.
Oh, well, thank you.
She will be looking respectfully. I have a name. It's Alphonse Elric, and he's
Hello.
like, "Oh my God, wait, Elric, like that guy." And he explains that he is the younger brother.
Like what is Shoujo Dream?
Bishonen, kind of.
Bishonen?
Yeah. Or
Is that what it's called?
Bishonen is usually like a Bishonen man is like the like a tall, dark, and handsome, like very like a pretty boy.
My
who's,
only
like, very
reference
pretty.
is Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah, that's very like Bishonen.
Okay.
Yeah. But like the shoujo is the genre. Bishonen man is usually like a way to describe like what a very typical shoujo like.
So the guy that I
love
thought was my
interest.
Bishonen man, but is actually just a nerd.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and then Al has to expound like, hey, I don't have my body now, but I'm working on getting it back. And she's like, but you look just like your brother. And she has like an image of her head of Al.
And he's like,
as head.
excuse me.
And he's like, that is rude. First of all, I am way taller.
I do love how he doesn't like defend his brother. He's like, first
of all, how dare you? He's like, I am gorgeous. No, he's like, I'm taller. What else? It's something else. He's taller, stronger.
He's a better fighter.
He's a better fighter. And he is a gentleman. And so May now has a new Elric brother to obsess over. I love this part. I love this so much.
I was like, oh no, you're gonna get your dreams crushed again when he gets his body back. But also think about it, she can take care of him.
Oh my god, she can fix him.
No, not well mentally.
He doesn't need fixing. Actually, he's perfect.
Well,
most besides the trauma.
And his body might need some fixing.
Oh, his body needs fixing, but like mentally, he's pretty good. But his body will need.
Well, I don't know how great his brain is.
He's doing better than a lot of folks here.
I know, but like he's also
actually really good.
But when he gets his body back, he's gonna be like probably I don't know, like he's seen some stuff.
He has seen some stuff. So
the end.
But this is really cute. And then we also get a scene. I think is this after this? Is post credits? I think we have an end credit scene. I'm not messing up this time.
Hope you're decent, Doc. Time for your supper. It sure is quiet in here. Are you thinking about Ishbal and crying yourself to sleep?
Oh! In the prison cell where Marco was hanging out, Envy comes to bring Marco some food. But then discovers what looks to be a headless body with vengeance written in blood over it, giving the impression that Scar exploded Marco's head once he was done with him and got the hell out of him.
I didn't say anything, but I was suspicious.
Yeah. They
also, like,
they have a shot of one of the Chimeras who was there but is now just like an empty like dog collar. And so with an idea being of like, that's suspicious, that's strange, but we'll talk about that.
I honestly, but I was, and also because like whenever we've seen like Scar explode heads, it's never like external.
Yeah.
It's always like you can still notice the body, but like it just kind of like probably just like a hole in the head. The end.
Yay! Dara, what are your thoughts on the episode? We talked a lot. Oh my god, this is such a long episode, but I think it needed to be.
It's only like an hour and 20 minutes.
Jesus Christ! Thank you for watching.
Caitlin's shirt's funny.
I have a funny shirt. Yay! No, let's talk about. We talked a lot.
We talked a lot about like
there. But if you have any additional thoughts,
I think it was different from what I thought it was gonna be because like I thought it was gonna be mainly like POV of the Ishvalans, and not even like paying attention to the military. But I do kind of like how I do like how we are expanding on the military and like acknowledging that like a lot of our faves are not good people.
They are problematic faves.
They're problematic. I don't even want to say that they're bad people because like I just kind of want to say that like they are problematic and like have done some bad.
Yeah.
And because like a lot of times like I feel like a lot of times like with the people in the military do bad things. Like I want to know like why did you join in the first place? And like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thing. I'm just like I don't want to say any of these people. Maybe Marco was bad and then did. Like I said, Marco like kind of reminds me, and he kind of looks like that Alfred Molina character in Promising Young Woman.
Okay, yeah.
The lawyer who like was a bad person and did bad things, and then broke,
and then broke,
and then like is not really becoming a better person, but just kind of just like in this show he is doing
trying to find a way to atone
for his sins.
Yes, correct.
So yes, so I do like I said like so I'm not gonna say people are bad. I'm just gonna say they have done some problematic stuff in their past.
Absolutely.
So then I think it's Ed and Elle the only not problematic.
Because children are inherently innocent creatures. That's important.
And we also know why they did some of the things that they did, and also like they didn't hurt, and they really didn't hurt each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like yes, like Al probably got the worst of it, but he was also in on the plan.
Yeah, exactly, and which is a point that Al makes sure to bring up when Ed is feeling very guilty. He's like, I was in it too. Like I was a person with agency. And I think that's a lot of like what is understanding about how characters feel and then different opinions and things. It's very important to understand that every person is a person with agency, and you do have the power to make your own decisions, even if the circumstances aren't right.
Trivia?
So I would love some trivia. There's a lot here because I think there was some stuff that was abbreviated from the manga because there's some scenes that I'm remembering that I'm trying to figure out there later or not. So let's go through this. This episode is adapted from content from chapters 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, and 62 of the Fullmetal Alchemist manga. So again, I think a lot of stuff was kind of shaved off.
Which is funny because like it was a lot of stuff, but it also kind of felt like it was like a kind of like breeze through. Like it felt pretty fast.
I think I've heard people say when talking about the Ishvalan War, it is the most brutal in the manga. So that's would recommend going back and kind of checking that out.
Do I have to do it today though?
Not today. No.
Okay.
And I think as I'm going through here, I might drop some different panels because there's lines that I'm thinking about that I don't remember being this episode or the next episode. So we're going to talk about that. The transmutation circle, which appears in the background of this episode's title card, is the flame alchemy circle tattooed on Riza Hawkeye's back. The episode reveals Riza's father's name to be Berthold Hawkeye, a fact that was not revealed in the manga. So some little extra information for you. And in the corresponding manga chapter, Rizo's alerted to Ed's presence by a knock at the door rather than Hayate's barking. We love Black Hayate. He's very cute.
Also, Black Hayate did nothing wrong.
In this episode, the letter Hughes receives from Gracia marks that Maze is part of the 27th Infantry Battalion. That's very interesting. We did forget to talk about Hughes being a wife guy, but that's
the only thing I found interesting about that part was like being like, like what happens in all those like books and movies where a guy like says like something about his like wife thing, or like the person that he loves, he always is killed first, and I'm like, there's movies in this world?
That's
we haven't seen a movie.
I'm like, it's 1905. What? How many movies are there?
Well, I mean,
it's close, but not exact to like
early
1900s.
But like, we have not seen a movie like anybody just like sit and watch a movie in this world that I didn't actually think movies existed. There was like radio, so I'm like,
I think people need some hobbies. Maybe people need more hobbies that aren't just alchemy and Fullmetal Alchemist. Maybe everyone would be happier. Maybe everyone should go to the movies.
I got some knitting if you want to do that. I just got a couple. I bought some sticker by numbers book that's actually been fun.
Fabulous. I love that.
Because I can't find a good color by number book because they don't give me colored pencils that match it unless they're for children.
Oh, I hate that. Why wouldn't they do that? Also, isn't that just an opportunity to make more money?
Exactly.
Terrible.
I just have to use my phone, like free apps on my phone to do that.
Yeah.
But sticker by number gives you all the stickers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, I mean, you have to because like it's not a coloring thing. So like like for people make the color by number books for adults, you can make color like markers or color pencils with the numbers on it and charge more. People will buy it because like I don't want to have to like figure it out on my own. I'm not good with colors.
Yeah. That's okay. So I really like this note in the wiki, which is this episode has the dubious honor of being the most abridged in this series. Thank you. This person's very opinionated. With more than an entire volume of manga being reduced to a single episode, that is crazy. And I think, yeah, imagine. I have to go back and read that because it's gonna be rough.
Question before you get into the abbreviations. Yes. Was it this abbreviated in the 2003 version?
The events here happen after the series split. So the Ishvalan War is recognized. It does not go into this detail, and it's different aspects that are looked at. So I think by the time 2003 was in production, we hadn't even reached this part of the manga yet. Yeah, or we were close, or it happened.
I think that it kind of does. I mean, like, tell me what the stuff they cut out.
The events surrounding Brigadier General Fessler and indeed Fessler himself are not depicted in this episode. He did, however, get a single scene with Armstrong one episode prior. I don't remember Fessler. He's just a dude. I've just opened his page. He was the Amestrian military officer put in charge of securing the Kanda region.
Was he the guy yelling at Armstrong?
Yeah.
Okay. When Armstrong was like, I just killed somebody.
Yeah, Armstrong absolutely has a breakdown. And I don't think... I'm trying to figure out if it said in the show itself. I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. You can shoot me if this is a spoiler. But one of the reasons why... So Armstrong's rank is Major.
Yeah.
All state alchemists automatically start at the rank of Major.
Oh, and he hasn't gone up.
Yes, correct. And which for very good reason. So the humanity that Armstrong displays during the war had... permanently fucks his career.
And so I did actually realize that's what happens if you...
Yeah. And it's not even but Armstrong still committed war crimes, but I think there's a little bit more of this shown in the manga itself, where he does display humanity. I think he reaches a point where he has a breakdown, and I think he ends up getting shipped off the battlefield because he is not following through with things anymore.
Right, and that's kind of the thinking of if he kept going with the war crimes, he would have been even more traumatized. But his career probably would have been much higher rank now. And it's kind of the sort of both things of happening of you keep doing, you kind of do the crimes, and then that's the consequence of your career. Which is he upset about that?
No, I honestly, at the end of the day, if what we saw, I believe last episode is any indication, he is, I think he feels more that he has to atone for the actions that he took against the Ishvalans rather than the things he did to screw himself over in the military.
Yeah.
So.
I think he's upset nowadays. We haven't seen him take his shirt off in a long time.
I know! What's up with that? Disrobe immediately, Armstrong.
If you want to.
Also, watch the children. So, anyway, Riza Hawkeye sniping and killing an Ishvalan rogue who is nearly within assassination range of both Hughes and Mustang before reintroducing herself to them is cut. In this version, she immediately walks up after them, after they finish talking. So I guess it's a little more cinematic where, she's been saving those guys since the beginning.
That's true.
But they just had to cut that for time, it looks like. Marco's recollection of Lab 5 in the manga originally had a Lust cameo, watching as a stone is made, following the volume revised version rather than the original magazine release, where the Slicer brothers and Barry the Chopper were also present.
I miss Barry.
Barry was terrible. We loved him. And
problematic faith.
The most problematic babe. This episode, when it was aired on Adult Swim originally, and cut out the post-credit scene. So, is what it is. Probably for broadcast time's sake. Anyway, that is this episode. Holy shit! I need to take a nap.
We have another episode.
We have another episode. So we're gonna take a break. Any other thoughts before we take a break? Please say no so we can go. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hopefully come back with a shorter episode. The 520 Sens promise. Stay tuned. I love that. Oh, May and Al are very funny. I was very excited to see that part.
I was actually worried. I thought the ending was going to be a dramatic cliffhanger.
Nah, we had to make it a little fun. A little fun.
But she's gonna be disappointed again, though.
Alright.
Winry, stay there.
And Remy, don't move. Alright.
Not at all.
No?
Don't look about caring.
We're not doing that here today.
I'd like to... A normal soldier might fire erratically without a clear target in mind.
Pretty sure armies aren't
But it's
killing
different for
innocent
snipers. Someone is sure to die when we pull the trigger.
Fullmetal Alchemist. Fullmetal Alchemist.
Hot?
Maybe you can...
From now on, I'm assigning you to be my assistant.
You have been
I feel like I
promoted.
can trust you to watch
Wow,
my back.
thanks.
You are now one of my elite
Do I still get to shoot
Although-
people?
I expect you understand what this means.
Yes.
You'll be able to shoot me in the back as well.
Mm.
If I ever deviate from this path, then I want you to shoot me.
Is in the beginning of a new battle,
Hooray.
but there is still no end
Alright.
to the war in sight.
Good stuff. Good stuff. That was fun.
Was it?
That was great.
Was it?
That was a great time.
Was it?
Yeah. I had a great time. God, I cannot wait till we talk about that, but we gotta watch the next one first.
And that one's later.
Did I say that? Or the harrowing kind of experience of what it means to take a life.
Is this a gag now?
Oh my god, why? I'm trying to talk about serious stuff. Please stop. Please stop. Oh my god, hold on. Let me mute this real quick.
You did that before and it still went
I
off.
know. I know. Let me try again. Hold on, I'm gonna take. This episode's gonna be so fucking long. Oh my god, but it's good though. It's good. It's good. Holy fucking shit!
That was like an hour and a half.
Oh my god. Oh, thank God we're not doing 6 episodes today. I was hoping to get out of here by 4. We're not. If I get out of here by 5, no, we're not.